Hello and welcome, everybody. It is wonderful to be here with you. I am super excited about our topic today. I have chosen it because a lot of people are talking about it, and it is of interest to all of us to get more in touch with our subconscious mind, between our conscious and subconscious mind, to really be decisive about what it is that we want and going for it wholeheartedly and not sabotaging ourselves so much along the way. So this is something that does come up in conversation quite a bit. This is a question that's being posed to me a lot. So when it came up again in our mastermind group this last Saturday, I thought, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity to actually dedicate a lot more time to this subject than what I would be able to do in a class and then go into it and make it so that everybody can learn from it. And that is exactly my intent for today, that I am going to present this information to you very, very clearly, very succinct, in a way that it makes sense in your own personal application, that you can identify yourself with the patterns and say, okay, I know where this fits in my own life. I know where I can apply it. And that it gives you a little bit of a head scratcher, that it gives you some insights, some ahas that are really going to get your brain going in some new ways that you might be thinking, dedicating yourself to how you interact with your feelings, your emotional state, and also become more deliberate with your actions. So, we bit of a big chunk today for our session, for our class, for our gathering, whatever you want to call it, because there is a mixture of all of it. There is definitely some coaching in there. You know that I'm right there with you. I'm using myself as the subject, as the demo, in also exploring something in my own life as we're going along in this live stream. And I'm also supporting you in whatever part of your life you are working on. Okay, so you choose whatever fits right for you. You choose the information that fits for you. You choose the strategies that fit for you, and everything else you just discard and say it's not for me. And I'm happy to see that our first people are checking in. So, hi, Sean. Awesome to see you. Wonderful that you're here. And everybody else who's going to be here live today and also in the future when I am going to post the recording for those of you who can't be here on Tuesday evenings, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Facebook. So, this is where this is happening live. Then it goes out to YouTube. I'm also posting it on my LinkedIn channel as well as my groups here on Facebook. And you have heard that before, all the different wonderful groups that we're having here. You guys, this is a journey that we're doing together. This is a journey where we're all here to support each other. I hope you watched my last recording from last Tuesday, where it was very specifically about support. And that's exactly what we're going to conjure up even more today: internal support from ourselves, because that's ultimately what this topic is about. Is how much are we in alignment, how much are we in congruence with ourselves and our internal communication, so that what we do put out into the universe in the form of our wishes, our dreams, our goals, that then we are truly doing it from all of our beingness, and not just a part of our consciousness that says, oh man, wouldn't it be cool if I had XYZ? And then there are some deep seating fears that we are not able to acknowledge, or there are some resentments, or there are some worthiness issues that we need to work with. So that's what this is all about today. You have seen it in the description of my invitation to you, that it is going to be about the RAS. The RAS is one of my favorite subjects. I've been using this language for about 10 years now, since I've first been made aware of it and started digging a little bit deeper into it. And the RAS is ultimately the answer to the question that I posed today in our invitation. Even though I want to change, why can't I do it? And that was how the question was posed ultimately to me this last Saturday. The big why, when I know what I know, when I've been doing what I've been doing, and I've been studying, and I've been investing, and I'm changing myself, and I'm praying, and I'm intending, and I'm affirming, and I'm vision boarding, and da 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 da. And the list just goes on and on and on. We all have our own list, and I'm still where I'm at. Or I'm still running into this specific wall in my life. I'm still sabotaging myself in a specific way. And we're all doing it, my friends. We're all doing it. It's just the level of the extent that determines how healthy we are, how well we are in our life. So let's work on it together, you guys, because it's definitely worthy exploring, especially in the very, very interesting days that we're living in. And it is such a powerful resource to be able to be resilient, to be accountable to yourself, to have that flexibility, to have that accountability to yourself, and simply are able to manage your own emotional state. No matter what's going on around you, the ability to bounce back, the ability to adapt, the ability to be congruent within yourself, to stick to your word, to be able to manage your emotions when you realize that you're going into a wrong track. Those are the skills, I believe, that are going to make all the difference right now and into the future. So when you are able to manage all of that, and it gets easier and easier because with practice, it absolutely will, guaranteed. One of the absolute rules, one of the laws, that as you truly wholeheartedly practice a new skill, that you will get good at it and you will start refining it, and all of a sudden you will master it. And for some reason I'm thinking of my little granddaughter Clover, who is completely obsessed about the game Memory. And when I brought it with me a couple of weeks ago from Germany, it's the cute little version with little animal babies, and we started playing it, and I compared to now, which is 2.5 weeks later. Oh my goodness, has this kid improved in her way of how she puts the game out, how she mixes it, the understanding of the rules, how fast she plays it, how quickly she creates her matches, and so on and so on. The list just keeps going on and on about watching this child, this 3-year-old, and how she is integrating a new skill into her repertoire, into her tool chest, so to speak. And that is how we all learn. And when we immerse ourselves in a specific skill building, we will learn it very fast. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. And when you start to talk to yourself in a certain way that calms you, that helps you manage your emotions, that makes you really proactive and really accountable to yourself, and that motivates you into action, then you will absolutely have a different experience of what life will bring to you. And that's what the RAS is about. Because you will have specific belief systems that support your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And those belief systems are ultimately what direct your RAS. So the fast answer is, the reason that we don't get what we want, even so we've put a lot of work into it and a lot of emphasis on it, and we've been wishing for it for a long time, and it's still not happening. So when you go to those places in your life where that's the case, the reason that you don't have it yet is because there is a mismatch between what you're consciously putting out and what you're subconsciously putting out. It is the congruence, it's the togetherness, it's the flow of what you're putting out with your head and your heart. It's what you're putting out with your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. The beliefs need to support your words, your affirmations, the things that you're visualizing. If the beliefs don't match it, then it's not going to happen, because the beliefs will always outweigh that what you're consciously conjuring up. If you want to see it very simply, the conscious mind is 1%, the subconscious mind is 99%. It runs the show. And our beliefs are deeply anchored in our subconscious mind. They have been learned by you very diligently since you were a little baby. They were even learned by you when you were still in the womb. And so many of those beliefs, so many aspects of your RAS, your reticular activating system, actually come from your parents, your culture, the circumstances that were there when you were conceived, carried in the womb, born into. the circumstances that you were born into and the belief systems that were being propelled in the environment that you were born into. And not just your family system, also what's going on in your neighborhood, the kind of churches that were there, the kind of school systems that were available, the kind of social structure that your town had created, the kind of state that you lived in, the stereotypes of your culture, the time frame of when you came here, what was going on in the world. All of that influences your personal belief system about how the show runs. And that's what our RAS is. And when there is a mismatch between that deeply, deeply ingrained pattern and what you're wishing out there in a ha 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 sunshine lollipop kind of way, that's when you get the mixed messages back from the universe, where something might start coming your way and you're seeing some great opportunities and you're getting some wonderful chances, and then all of a sudden it all crashes. See, it just never works out for me. As soon as someone starts using that language, it's worthwhile listening, thinking, I wonder what they mean by that on a deeper level. Because you do need to start digging a little deeper when it comes to the RAS. And there is so much about the RAS that is about our worthiness, our deservingness, our value, our purpose, our meaning. Those are the words that we're using when we talk about the deeper acknowledgement of our RAS. And when those things are in order and you do have a healthy deservingness and a healthy worthiness, someone who can balance quickly, easily between themselves and others, someone who is aware, someone who is compassionate and has good boundaries. When you have that kind of alignment between your conscious and your subconscious mind, and your beliefs truly support that, what you're wishing. See, there's a very easy test actually. Everything that you're having in your life right now is a manifestation of your conscious and subconscious mind. For some reason, you had some kind of thought patterns that were aligned with that, you had some kind of feeling states that were aligned with that, and you had a mega big belief system that just kind of rolled along, manifested itself again and again and again and again. Different ways, different contexts, different people, different circumstances. Ultimately, same story. And that's the frustrating part, right? That's exactly what my friend was talking about. That big, why is this happening when I'm doing all of this? It's because you've practiced it so dang well. You've put so much energy into it. You've done it all your life, ultimately, especially the big stuff, especially when it comes to the high levels. When you think about Maslow's hierarchy, we have the same version of that in NLP, and it goes up to beliefs, identity, and spirituality. So when you do ask yourself the big questions, how does my life matter? What is my mission? What is my purpose here? What am I bringing to others? How does my life matter to other people? Who am I? What is my metaphor in this life? What is my story? What are my roles? And on the beliefs level, what are my values? What's important to me? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? What is important to me? When you start to engage with yourself in a deep, profound conversation on that level, then you will come up with some answers about why you're not able to attract certain things into your life, or why you've been struggling maintaining a certain lifestyle or certain relationships or certain career aspects. It's those really deep questions about your purpose, your meaning of your life, your identity of who you are, and the roles that you're playing, because that's another part of our RAS, the roles that we're choosing to play for other people, There were so many things that I thought I had to do for my parents and my family in order to be accepted, in order to be okay with who I am. And so we all wear those masks. We all do those things. We all have those sayings. We all have those, ha ha ha, those are our family things that we're doing because that is part of our identity. And that's how we are also protecting ourselves. That's how we are showing our belongingness. And then here we are 40 years later saying, oh my goodness, I'm still doing it. I even had a conversation with Grayson the other day, who has children on his own now, saying, I'm already catching myself doing things you guys would do. I thought that was awesome. I'm like, wow, we're already having that conversation, aren't we? Yeah, oh yeah, so it goes. We're modeling always. We're always looking at how other people are doing it. We're looking how it's being done in our environment. We're going, this works. No, this doesn't work. Okay, I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna leave my hands off that. It's an ongoing process, you guys, until the day we're gonna depart from this plane. So welcome everybody else who is chiming in here. Love to see you guys. Right on. I see we are in multiple states. That makes me always so happy that I know we are going to have a bigger and bigger reach, and more of you guys are tuning in. Thank you so very much. I just love hearing from you, and thank you for saying hi. So I'm going to be looking forward to read some more of your comments later on. And you guys, we are talking about the big, wonderful topic RAS, reticular activating system. What's going on in our subconscious mind? How do we deal with information from the outside world? Because that's ultimately what the RAS is. It is a filter that the information from the outside world, all the inputs that you're getting, billions of pieces of information, ongoing stream of information, you're constantly hearing what's going on in your surrounding right now. Listen, I'm hearing a hum. It's really quiet actually. And it almost sounds like there's a little bit of a dribble outside, if there's a little wind or a little rain. And now I'm hearing a plane. You're constantly soaking up that information. And what is pertinent to your safety and to your immediate experience will be let through when it's according to your belief system. So I just explained the auditory. We're doing the same thing with seeing. We're constantly seeing things around us. We're constantly experiencing things through our body, like temperature. We're experiencing texture. We're experiencing movement and activities, actions. We're also smelling things and we're tasting things. Are you hearing it? We're talking about the five senses. So that's how the information comes in. It goes through the RAS, and here's the kicker. Only the information that matches your already existing patterns in your brain can get through. Therefore, your belief system determines what is allowed to come through. And if you're someone who has been criticized a lot, then, oh yes, when the criticism comes in, your RAS opens the floodgates and lets it all in. And the compliments get put by the wayside. No, I never heard you say that. Yes, I did compliment you. No, that didn't happen. No, I swear I said these and these words. Didn't you hear me? No, they literally didn't hear you because their RAS prevented that piece of information to get from this outside input, like we just heard that airplane. You probably not, but it was just this tiny little background noise. It prevented it to go into the consciousness of my brain where I can go, oh, they just gave me a compliment. Or in this case, hey, there's an airplane outside. Or, do I hear some rain out there? Oh, wow, I hear some kids' voices. See, as soon as something important happens, like for example, in my case, it would be kids' voices if I hear a scream or a boom, boom, and then a wah, I would jump because there is that conditioning about, uh-oh, something might have happened. Make sure kid is safe, because that's when the RAS kicks in. And that's what moms do. That's what parents do. That instant, oh, we're alert. Is that my kid? That's your RAS at work right there. Other people sit in the same room and go, what? There's a bunch of kids running around, and you can actually determine which one is yours just from listening. That is so cool. So that's what the RAS does for us, for our senses. It takes all of that information, it dwindles it down to the most important pieces of information that you need to process right here, right now, that keep you safe, that keep you present, that keep you grounded, that keep you functioning. If I were to sit in this room right now and it was 50 degrees, I would be giving a very different presentation. I would be interacting very differently with you because part of my consciousness would constantly be on the fact that I'm freezing and that I somehow need to maintain myself comfortably to be able to do what I'm doing. And so by taking up the channels of our consciousness, of our ability to spread out our awareness, we can overburden ourselves, we can burn out, we get overwhelmed. And that's when we make mistakes. So the environment that you're creating for yourself, the RAS is going to constantly pick up what you're feeding yourself. I catch myself so often when I'm watching a specific show, or I'm binge watching something, or I'm interested in a certain topic, or I'm listening to very specific music with the kids. Right now, it's a lot of ABC songs again, and it's also a lot of classical music. There's a lot of Beethoven and Mozart, and I catch myself whistling things. 3 days later, I'm still going, man, this is so hilarious, or humming it, or I'm whistling it to myself. And it's just so hilarious how easily these songs get stuck in my head. I do the same with gaming. All of a sudden, I'm looking up and I'm seeing exactly what I was doing on the screen in my mind's eye. So, what you are exposing yourself to will condition you. And so, that is part of my answer. That's how you change your RAS. You do the surface work and you do the deep work. The surface work is the coaching part. If you want to sing better, then you need to do certain things with your lips, with your mouth, with your tongue, with your throat to simply get yourself into that place of letting the air flow out of you in a way that creates beautiful sounds. And that is something that's learnable. I'm thinking about any kind of athletic sport where you have a coach who tells you when you do X, you will get Y and Z results. And we do the same thing with language patterns. We do the same thing with ourselves by coaching ourselves, by practicing awareness about the language patterns that we're using that are not conducive, the language patterns that inhibit us, that limit us, that are dragging us down, that are dragging our vibration down. And that is a skill that you can practice, that you simply catch yourself. And for the first level, simply go, thank you for catching myself. I'm grateful that I just caught myself. And that's enough for right now. Then the second level is to engage with it and say, hey, I understand what you're trying to do for me here. Thank you so much. And let's negotiate. Let's see what else we can do. Let's see if we can change that. Have some other choices, have some other ways. Because what do you really want from me by doing what you're doing? Can you hear the quality of these questions? Can you hear the quality of that kind of an engagement versus beating yourself up about how awful you are because you can't get it together? And you've messed up for the X time, da 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 da, and so on and so on. We've all been there, we're all doing it right now, and we're all here to get better, right, you guys? So I'm super excited that we're all sharing this journey together and that we all get to encourage each other that we can do it. So you want to coach yourself, you want to do the behavioral changes, you want to create the practices, the rituals, the ceremonies, whatever words you want to use that help you to ultimately feed your brain different information. Because if it took you 46 years to learn a specific belief about who you are in this world and your worthiness, then it's going to take you a few days and perhaps even a few weeks and perhaps even a few months to completely undo that and then replace it with new thoughts, new feelings, new actions, and ultimately new beliefs, a new RAS. Your old RAS can be unraveled and unlearned, which then you replace with new pieces of the RAS that is more conducive, more aligned with who you are now and with who you want to become. So, on the coaching level, I would like to tell you strategies and techniques include breathing. Anytime that you can catch yourself breathing deeply and simply focusing your intention on breathing, you are giving your RAS a spa day. You're giving yourself a spa day. You're giving yourself so much relaxation. You're giving yourself so much goodness in the form of the hormones that you're able to access at that time. You're able to have the neurological flow. This is like a great 8 hours sleep simply by giving yourself that time to breathe deeply, to meditate for a minute, giving your brain that oxygen that it needs to truly process at high maximum capacity. All of those wonderful results coming from just breathing deeply. So make that always number one of your strategies. No matter what you do, breathe. Just breathe. Then you can do the thinking part, the processing, the activities. So you want to communicate with your part. You're coaching it. And you allow it to coach you as well. Imagine the RAS as your friend. And then you can do the healing work. You can talk about those old days of why you learned what you learned and who of your parents you might be representing by having that specific belief. A lot of times I see the dichotomy when I talk to people about their upbringing. And there was the mother who was very loose in her strategies, in her way of raising the children. And there was a lot of permission and high permission level. And then you had the very strict father, and he was the one who would enforce the discipline, or you have it vice versa. And so you see a lot of this imbalance that then plays out in people's lives. You see how financial patterns are being learned. You're seeing how love expressions are being learned in a family. You're seeing how a person attracts relationships simply by asking a couple of questions about how they were growing up and the kind of family system they were part of. Did they move a lot? Did they stay in one place? Did the parents share jobs a lot? Did the parents work together? Was one of the parents gone a lot? Those kind of things are all worth considering when you ask yourself the big, why am I doing what I'm doing? What must be floating around in my subconscious mind that causes me to do what I'm doing? That causes these thoughts, that causes these feelings. So you can always communicate with yourself, you can always negotiate with yourself. And so this is one of the levels that I highly recommend that you do, because in that moment you will start to move your way up the Maslow's hierarchy, and you will actually end up at self-actualization at some point. You're taking care of the environmental and the behavioral parts to then work your way up to your spirituality and your fulfillment of your purpose. That's one way of doing it. And there are many, many, many ways that you can take accountability for doing those kind of exercises. Remember, breathing, as simple as that. Literally, every time you can do breathing exercises, you're doing it. So even if you just do that for 2 minutes a day while you're doing some kind of an activity, like, oh, I'm just going to take some nice deep breaths while I'm doing it, or you're giving yourself these 2 minutes of sitting down before a specific meeting or a gathering or an activity, a task. You're like, you know what, I'm just going to take an out time for 5 minutes. And I'm going to breathe deeply. Then you are doing it in that very moment. So give yourself credit for that, okay? And then, if you want to, in that time, you can also actually do some very specific healing work. You can run some specific mantras. You can have communication with your parts. You can go to your support parts, which is what we did last week. You can talk to your RAS. This could be your project for springtime. Wouldn't that be awesome? To go into summer right now is so perfect. This is the month we're going to change the clocks. We already did that. We're going to jump from winter into spring. Easter has all these wonderful metaphorical implications of new life, new beginnings. Give yourself that. Let's perhaps make a commitment together that for these next 30 days or this next 6 weeks, we are going to totally put our emphasis on our RAS. And we're going to keep working on it. We're going to keep emphasizing it. We're going to keep focusing on it, that this is what's going to change. This is going to transform. This is going to transmute to a higher level in our consciousness. Wouldn't that be awesome? I'm totally committed, you guys. I'm so committed to it. I know, Sean, I can see you going like, yeah, absolutely. So I am going to take a note, 6-week project. I love it. I love projects like that. It's going to be the RAS project. Yeah. Because what we focus on expands. What we immerse ourselves in is going to make the difference. And I know that this is the highest level work I can do by really digging into my subconscious mind and creating the kind of filter that makes it easy for the universe to communicate with me, right? Clean up the gook, make the filter all nice. Imagine it like having a screen that's not clean or having a colander that's plucked. How does it make your spaghetti feel when it's all, ugh, right? So give yourself that. I think those are wonderful metaphors. And that's how your RAS is too. It wants to be clean, it wants to be crisp, so that the information can just go through beautifully. So, handshake, my friends. I'm committing myself, and I'm definitely going to report on it. I'm sure I'm going to revisit it in the next few weeks as I'm continuing this free seminar series for all of us. So I'm super excited. This just gave me a whole new level of purpose for this springtime. I love it. And I hope that this excites you as well and that you're going to come along for the ride, okay? So you proactively engage with your RAS. You thank it, you honor it, you acknowledge it. You're doing exactly what you did with your support parts. Remember, I said you can use it with other parts as well. And the RAS is like one of those commander parts or one of those chief parts. It's one of those parts that really has a very high ranking in what's happening in you, in all of us. And when you get that down, that you have a healthy RAS that is aligned with your purpose, with the meaning that you're giving life, with the value that you want to create in this life, who you are, how you're showing up, the belief system that you hold, the capabilities that you have within yourself, your behaviors, and everybody you come in contact with. When all of that is aligned, oh man, you can do so much good with that. And it's so much fun to be in that mode. And you're going to get glimpses of it, and you're going to get better and better and better at it the more you engage with your RAS proactively and help it to heal and help direct it in the way that it serves you better now than it did in the past. So that's all the surface structure. That's all the stuff that you can do consciously with your mind, where you're just going and you're talking to your part and you're changing behaviors, you're using language. There are all these wonderful things that you can do from a coaching perspective with yourself to enhance your relationship with your filter that sorts reality, that lets the information in, that processes the information, that is in congruence with your deeper belief system, which then ultimately helps you to, over time, heal your beliefs, your deepest core beliefs. And that's the deep structure I wanted to talk about. And this is where, wow, when I go to that level, it's always like, oh, wow, where's this going to end today? Where are we going to end up today? So I'm super open to where we are going to end up today. Because this, my friend, is the deep purpose, soul level of why we're here. Why would someone put themselves in that kind of situation? Why would we attract those kind of parents, those kind of circumstances, those financial situations these kind of environmental impacts, these kind of social status, these kind of ethnical background, and so on and so on and so on. When you really go to that level and you embrace it from a level, and that's where I love to bring up the double slit experiment again, with the idea that yes, it is predestined and it is free will at the same time. And that to me is one of those brrr, makes my skin tingle and my hair stand up, where I'm like, that is such deep, profound stuff, and I just love playing on that level. That we are the observer, we are the catalyst between the wave function and the manifested materialistic reality. And when you can look at life from that point of view, that on one level you do not have control, and on another level you control it. On one level, you are playing out a predestined script. On the other level, you are the director who creates the play as you go. And when you can bring all of that under one hat, that's when I personally would say it's happiness. To give yourself the power that you can create while you have the humility to be part of the bigger spectacle that's going around you, the bigger play that's playing out, that you are somehow part of. And you get to choose what part you want to play in all of that. And hence, the economical background, the time that you were born into, the world circumstances that we're facing together. Your RAS is part of what keeps you safe, grounded, and connected to reality. In the law of attraction, we talk about the vortex. And the vortex ultimately is the quantum universe. It is that which happens that we cannot physically see. And of course, everything that I'm saying here about our five senses is completely debatable. And there is so much information that we now have where it's actually pretty limiting to talk about the five senses. And when you boil it down to going onto the subatomic level, and you're really able to perceive from that point of view, and you start to understand your journey in a much, much bigger picture of you are a facet of the oneness. You are a player in a grandiose play that is so beyond our comprehension, simply from the length of time that it's been going on, the length of time it will be going on, the grandeur of how many parts it encompasses, how many players there are, and how we all somehow add to the wholeness perfectly in our own unique way. And then even you sitting here right now, contemplating what you're contemplating about your life, your RAS, your contribution, your purpose, your meaning, and all that other stuff that I just stuck up with you, that you can give yourself that knowingness that somehow it all makes sense and it's all part of the whole and that it is part of your journey. Whenever I have a client come to me, and especially when they're dealing with health issues and they have, for example, a surgery that they're preparing for, I have that a lot actually, or someone is truly in a very highly level illness, and it might even be terminal, or they might have gotten some really bad diagnosis. I always ask them, what's your story? What is the story that you want to tell about this? Everything went so bad, and oh man, the doctor totally messed it up, and the surgery was really painful and took forever to heal. And is that the story you want to tell? Or are you the storyteller who tells It went fantastic. They told me that I did so much better than the average. I was healing so fast. I'm actually better than I was before. It went exactly the way I hoped. What is your story? And when you really ask yourself that deeply, then everything that you have been born into will make sense. And that you are on a heroic quest. And just you sitting here with me right now, exposing yourself to that information shows me that you're on your path. How could you listen to this stuff and not have then thoughts that somehow affect you in your personal path? And if you weren't meant to listen to it, you wouldn't have tuned in. As easy as that. And there are enough people who will do that because it's not part of their message right now. And that's why I trust that everybody who's here right now is actually contributing to the message through your presence, through our entanglement, through that entrainment that connects all of us. Isn't that awesome? So thank you. Thank you for the contribution to this wonderful seminar, to this wonderful gathering. It all will make sense. In that moment when you're on your deathbed, in that time when you are growing so old that you are reflecting across your life, it all will make sense. And you will see, that's why I had these patterns. That's why I needed to expose myself to those frames. That's why the universe gave me those specific challenges. That's why I had those specific patterns. It will all make sense. And you already can start getting glimpses of that in your meditations, in your affirmations. I am becoming more and more aware of my RAS as we are healing together. And in that moment, you're doing your family a favor. Not only are you helping to shift the energy of the elders and those who have moved on simply in how they live within you, you're also affecting the future generations with how you are conducting yourself and what the kids are modeling from you. So you're doing everybody a service. Give yourself that right now. So the deep structure is to ask those very, very deep questions on a soul level. What does my soul want to achieve in this lifetime by giving me these circumstances? That's the question right there. So a powerful mantra for that could be, for example, I wonder in which wonderful ways I can fulfill my soul's purpose for this lifetime today. Wow, imagine asking yourself that in the morning. I wonder in how many wonderful ways my soul is going to communicate to me today and keeps reminding me of my purpose. When you have those background questions going through your mind, you're going to create a very different day. Trust me on that. So one of the funny things that happened on Saturday was that one of the people talked about synchronicities a lot and how we could pay a lot of attention to synchronicities and how that fits into the law of attraction and how that's communication from the universe and so on and so on. And then another friend talked about it. And then I literally read something in an article that was almost word for word mimicking what we had talked about, like a paragraph. And I'm like, okay, there it is, right there. Right there it is. It's playing itself out right in front of my eyes. And then I had it again today in a phone call with a dear friend who then told me that my phone call was the coincidence for them. I'm like, perfect, here we are. It's happening again. Thank you, universe. Where your focus goes, the attention goes. That's where the energy flows. By you focusing on your RAS, affirming it, healing it, respecting it, having compassion for it, understanding how it fits into the bigger picture. A lot of times I tell my clients, you are the healer of your family. You are the catalyst. It's you who's sitting here doing the session. Not your parent, not your sibling, not your aunt or uncle, your cousin, your kid. It's you. You're the one who's asking those questions, who is investing in yourself, who is giving yourself the time to and space to actually entertain these thoughts. So give yourself credit for that. And I want you to give yourself credit for that. That for some reason you are attracted to this information. See, this is your RAS bringing it to you as well. So thank you. And you can accept this challenge. You can accept this opportunity. And I'm putting this 4 to 6 weeks time frame on it because it just makes sense with moving into spring. So I'm going to look at my calendar, see how that fits in, because that's just such an awesome, worthy project. Actually, my birthday is right in the middle of it. So see, there's a little bit of new beginnings, and I'm going into the 11. So there's going to be a lot of magic this next year, and I want to be primed and have my RAS reflect all of that so beautifully so that I can flow, so that the information can come through congruently, that the RAS is welcoming, that the belief system that is deeply lodged in our consciousness can be welcoming. So let me do a special exercise with you, a quick guided visualization as we're wrapping today up, for you to just get an experience with it, to open that door. Of course, we're not going to re-imprint your whole life's worth of beliefs and the RAS components that you have collected over time. That's going to take you, like I said, it's going to take a few days, weeks, or months, and for some of the things, perhaps even a couple of years. And you will be able to change those components dramatically. And there will be change that will come very quickly because you are dedicating yourself to it. So be open to it and pay attention to those synchronicities when the universe gives you information that fits exactly with what you're focusing on already. So let's get that all into our muscles. Let's get that into our body. I gave you so much head food. I highly, highly recommend that you're going to watch this video again once I've posted it. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to sit there with my notebook and really do it when I'm talking about the whole idea about why we would attract our cultural background, our parents, our economic background, and so on and so on. I want to go a lot more deep with that. Let's see where we're going right now. And I just trust the universe that the right words will come through. As we're all taking a nice deep breath together, make yourself comfortable, shift around a little bit, get comfy. Stretch, yawn, whatever you need to do. It's evening for most of us over here on the west side. Hello, hello. For you guys on the east side, it's pretty late already. I know we're going to have some people from Europe, and then the Asians are going to join us also. I'm super excited. And some South American friends. Welcome, 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 everybody. So nice to be here with you. Let's just breathe together, connect with each other. Feel that support system that we have created over time. Nice. That virtual support we all have for each other as we're entrained with each other right here, right now. And I would like for you to simply welcome your RAS. Visualize your brain. Visualize your RAS as a filter. You can wrap it around. It's actually at the base, if you want to look at it physically, where the information then comes in, has to filter through your whole brain to then get sorted, cataloged. It gets filed. And then when you need it, you retrieve it again. So just imagine all of that. And I would like for you to very, very warmly welcome your RAS. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for this connection. Thank you for the work that you're doing for me. Thank you for being there for me all these years. You have been working so hard for me. And I'm so sorry for the things that you had to do to protect me because of beliefs that I adopted, patterns that I learned. Thank you for your hard work all these years. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you for keeping me safe. So create that relationship with your RAS, a relationship of respect, of gratitude, connection, togetherness, and just be with it. And then step into your RAS for a moment. Just be there. Wiggle around a little bit. Feel how it is to be your RAS. Get that information. We can do that easily. We can easily jump back and forth between ourselves and our parts. So give yourself that. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. Just become your RAS for a moment. Imagine being that filter that is doing all that screening, keeping the bad stuff out, the stuff that doesn't fit with what's going in there. See, because that's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. They're just following the command. Keep out the stuff that doesn't belong in there. So it is about determining what kind of stuff belongs in there. So imagine that as being the RAS, how flexible you are, how willing you are to learn, how plastic you are. You're able to learn, you're able to adapt, you're resilient. Oh, yes, my favorite word. You are resilient, my beautiful RAS. So feel that you're being resilient, you're adapting, you're healing, you're learning, you're growing. Yes. And things that used to be important and where you felt defensive and you had to keep them out are now easily to come in, because now you understand that it's much more useful for the person to have that new belief, to have this new experience, these new thought patterns, these new affirmations from the outside world, this new interaction with reality. Yeah, that's right. So doesn't that feel like a fun thing, being the RAS? And you can do this every day, just for a few seconds. Hey RAS, how you doing? One of the first things I learned in NLP is thank your heart, thank your organs, talk to yourself. Hey brain, how you doing today? What can I do for you? And especially in times of stress. The second I get stressed out, the second I get overwhelmed, or I'm feeling some physical symptoms creeping in, like a sore throat, or anything that happens, I go, hey sweetheart, what's going on? Why are you hurting? What do you need from me? What's your message? And you can do the exact same thing with your RAS. You treat them with respect, you give them personality, you give them a place, you see them, you listen to them, you embrace them, you acknowledge them for who they are for you. You have a proactive, purposeful relationship with yourself. And you can practice that through your relationship with your RAS. And the more you honor your RAS, and the more you affirm beliefs like, my RAS is constantly adapting and growing to the new circumstances of my life. My RAS is constantly raising its vibration as I keep working on myself. Can you hear the power in those words? And those are just examples that I'm coming up with. So I know I need to sit down and write them down, and I'm whittling away, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's that statement. So do that for yourself as well, that you're coming up with those kind of statements that really, really touch you. So keep breathing that in. Keep loving that RAS of yourself. Float back and forth between being yourself and the RAS. Literally feel the hug between you and the RAS and float back and forth. Being yourself, hugging the RAS. Being the RAS, hugging yourself. Ah, that's wonderful. And we are promising that we're learning together, we're growing together, we keep evolving together. So get that for yourself as well with your RAS, that companionship, that support, that love, that understanding, always growing together. Yes. And you understand on a soul level what's going on. So that's another piece that I invite you to now bring in to your conscious awareness, your soul, in however way you represent that for yourself. And I will be so happy to have a different seminar on that very specific subject, because I've done some beautiful, beautiful explorations on that level lately that I would love to share with you. So if it's easy for you to connect with your soul, do that right now. If it's hard for you, I would like to invite you to do some research, watch some videos, read some books, open yourself up to the idea of soul. What does it mean? What's the definition? What speaks to you? And then how can you engage with that? I would say that would be a very nice piece of homework for those of you who are interested in getting a deeper relationship. And for right now, just get a sense of it, connecting with yourself, and just being there on a soul level with yourself. That infinite part of yourself, that part of you that is connected with divinity at all times, that's with you at all times, that's guiding you, that is your connecting piece to the greater, the unexplainable, the quantum. And it knows the fullness, it knows the wholeness. It is the all, the oneness. So tap into all of that right now. Be with it, acknowledge it, honor it, just be with it. Such a wonderful, peaceful presence. Nice. And I would like for you to present that beautiful state to your RAS right now, so that your RAS can also always feel that connection to your soul, that part of you that knows everything, that is in that singularity, that has already experienced everything that is ever to experience, that lives in multiple dimensions. And just imagine your RAS now opening up to that possibility and supporting you from now on from that perspective, from that point of view. Yeah. Now that's a pretty powerful ending. Ooh, it's just Tuesday. Wonder how the rest of the week is gonna go. My goodness. Can you feel it? Openness. A little bit more understanding, perhaps. A little bit more of a definition that you now have for yourself when it comes to those levels. That you get more comfortable when you talk about your purpose, when you start thinking about your mission. I want you to get really comfortable with being able to talk about such things. You know, the reason why I'm here, or this is what I want to give to humanity, or this is what I value very much in life. That you're able to have those deep level of conversations with other people, with yourself. That would be so wonderful. That you're able to live with awareness of what's going on in your life, and that it is a direct representation of what's going on in your RAS. And that especially over these next few weeks, that you are going to take the opportunity and really dive into deeply into this creating a better relationship with your RAS and making it more empowering. Okay, so that's my commitment to you and to myself, because I'm holding myself accountable for sure with that. It's written down, so it's going to happen. Very exciting. You're definitely going to see some posts from me on that level. And for now, I would like to let you know that I still have a few spots left for our mastermind group this weekend. It's happening on Saturday, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, USA time, for those of you who are in different parts of the world. It's totally doable. It's going to be early evening for you guys. And I'm still working on my resilience book. I'm editing and I'm making it all pretty because all the content is there. Now we're just going to make it really clear and pretty for everybody to read. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm also committed to running practitioner trainings again starting this summer. So please mark your books, mark your calendars for those of you who are really interested in learning deeper what quantum NLP is all about and how you can actually become a certified practitioner. So that's what I have currently going on. It's plenty on my plate because I'm also throwing in a few trips. And of course, there's always lots of stuff happening in the family. And my RAS is telling me that I'm hearing some footprints because little granddaughters know that I'm coming to a closure here. And then it's playtime again. And we're going to play some more memory because, oh yeah, they're good at it. And grandma always loses. So, you guys, I hope you had a lot of insights today. I hope you got a lot of value today. I hope there are some things that I said that inspire you, that make you think deeper, that give you some resources and strategies that you can do, as well as a deeper understanding of why all of this is happening. So I hope that in your mind I did answer the big question of why we're doing what we're doing when we know better. Why are we sabotaging ourselves? Why are we working so hard and I'm still not getting it? I hope you are a lot wiser right now in regards to those questions and that you keep working on yourself and keep improving yourself to get more and more answers that are going to help you on your heroic quest. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and I'm already looking forward to seeing you next week. And then we're going to talk about writing a new chapter. So, super excited. We're going to go very metaphorical, very hero's journey. This is all about totally evoking that metaphorical mind of yourselves and allow yourself to play on that level. All right. So I look very much forward to that. And I send you a big, big, big virtual hug. It's wonderful to connect with you. See you later.